BJ, we've heard a lot about the success from the offense in the two scrimmages. Just from your perspective, what has allowed the offense to come out on top?
I think it's just doing the little things right in practice, coming out there, not giving half effort, just going hard every single day, communicating, and Mason leading us in the huddle, after every practice, he gets us in the huddle, and he talks what we did good, what we did bad, so it's just that leadership from him as well.
We were saying we can't remember a time when the offense swept the scrimmages. Is this one of the best camps for offense that you've seen?
My freshman year, we didn't do very good in offense against the defense, but yeah, it's definitely like a new era, offense, attacking the defense back, so it was good.
What do you attribute it to? You guys have veteran offensive linemen, you have starting quarterback coming back, but what do you, it's what you just asked you how the offense is doing, but what do you feel like you guys have really excelled at in the scrimmages?
Me and Bear just, trying to do little things right, leading more with the young guys. We have a tight bond, just it's easy, blocking for somebody like Mason, Boosie, all of them. So it's just easy to buy in with, because we know the talent they have. So it's just easy. We just buy in, doing the little things right.
You have a veteran offensive line, a lot of guys returning, but what are some of the differences you're noticing from this line compared to last year?
Just the effort we're giving now. Coach Darville, wants us to finish more, so that's what we've been doing this whole camp, just trying to finish, chasing out the ball, so just little things.
How much do you feel like you guys as a group have been able to protect the quarterback, protect Mason so far this camp?
I think we did pretty good this fall, I don't think we allowed a sack during the scrimmages, so just something that we take pride in this year because it's a chip on our shoulder, so we got to protect Mason.
What's been allowing you to protect him as far as just you guys, starters up front, just being more coordinated and connected?
First starts with Coretta getting the calls out, and then trusting him, and then our effort we're giving, protecting Mason, just not loafing, just giving our all every play because, he can make something happen.
You mentioned the huddle after practice he pulls you guys into. Is there a certain instance maybe you remember of him saying you guys did well, did bad? What are those interactions like?
One practice, we didn't come out how we needed to. Mason just got us up and told us that we need to come back and attack the day better the next day. So things like that.
What is it like blocking for a guy like that can lead the offense like that?
It's just awesome, it just makes my job a lot easier. We give him time, he can make something happen.
In the scrimmage, Coach Narduzzi talked a lot about the big plays, explosive plays. Who are some of the guys that you're noticing are making some big plays on offense?
A couple guys off the top of my head, Blue, Malik, Boosie, Bob, all our running backs, have really been explosive this camp. And all our receivers, CJ Lee, he has a couple touchdowns every scrimmage. So all those guys have been contributing a lot.
What is Damon Ferguson showing you as a true freshman?
He's just showing a lot of poise back there, Our true freshmen this year have been pretty good, so I just love seeing them.
Anything else? BJ, thank you.
Thank you.
Question for Jimmy.
Jim, we've heard Coach Narduzzi has told us that it's been the offense that's kind of got the best of scrimmages so far. Just how would you assess how things have gone specifically from a defensive standpoint?
Yeah, they've been playing pretty good offense. Making big plays, finishing plays. We kind of just got to finish better, rally to the ball better, and I think we did that today for sure.
Point system is really predicated on getting takeaways for the defense, but Coach Narduzzi said that really hasn't happened. What's made it so difficult for you guys to force some turnovers on Mason and some of those guys?
It's been a long camp. I feel like there were days where we had a lot of turnovers, multiple back-to-back days, but the last couple, they've been doing their job pretty well. But yeah, like I said, it's been a long camp. We've been going against each other for a while now. I think that's kind of just bound to happen. Just going against the same guys every day. You know what I mean?
Is there something specific that you're seeing from someone like Mason that he's doing well to protect the ball?
Yeah, Mason, as you guys know, he's a heck of a player. So he's been doing his job pretty well. But yeah, we just got to rally to the ball better. We've had opportunities. We kind of just got to capitalize on those. There were a couple drop balls and stuff like that, but all in all, like I said, it's been back and forth. In my opinion.
BJ just said that the offensive line, at least the first team unit, hasn't allowed a sack in either scrimmage. I don't know if that's true or not, but what has kept you guys from maybe getting there?
They definitely allowed a sack. They definitely allowed one. But, like I said, we've been going back and forth against each other, like I said, all month, throughout this camp. They've had their days. We've had ours. Obviously, we aren't hitting the quarterback. So a lot of those deep passes, unfortunately, or for them, are sacks. You know what I mean? But, we'll let them have their own victory right now.
You've obviously been around here a bit for a lot of camps. This is the last week before you guys start week 1 game prep for Miami, Ohio. Just where do you think this team is at right now, having gotten mostly through camp?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot. Defensively, we kind of, hit a wall in the last scrimmage. Like I said, just not rallying to the ball. But, all in all, as a team, as a group, I think we're definitely in a good spot.
About the defense maybe not being where you wanted or rallying to the ball, like you keep mentioning. I mean, as an older guy in the room on the defense, how do you get the rest of the defense to pick up the tempo?
Just trying to pick everybody's mind. Like it can't be like, oh, I thought he made the play or I thought he was going to make the tackle. We got to have 11 guys running to the ball every play. And that's where we kind of struggled at in the scrimmage, if I'm being honest. But we definitely been working to get that corrected for sure.
When things get rolling, do you as defense have a certain amount of takeaways or a goal in that regard of what you guys want to get per game or anything like that?
It's hard to say per game, to be honest, but really just as much as possible. As a defensive line, we're trying to affect the quarterback as much as we can, so we can get those takeaways, whether that's creating pressure or getting sack fumbles, whatever. Because as the D line and the DBs and linebackers, we all kind of play off each other. So if we're getting pressure on the quarterback, it's making their job easy. If they're covering guys, it's making our job easy. You know what I mean?
What do you feel like is your biggest individual, progress or step forward? Like, what's most different about you now compared to last year and certainly compared to, 4 years ago?
I feel like the game slowed down for me a lot. Just throughout film study and, just playing the game, playing in games. I've seen, a good amount of looks and, had a good amount of reps. So just the game slowing down for me. I feel the best I've ever felt this camp. And I'm definitely excited for the season.
How detailed is that film study as a DN? I mean, are you watching every step those tackles take? I mean, is that, are you really down to?
It's pretty detailed. Just whether that snap count, if a guy's a high hand, low hand, outside punch, inside punch, is he trying to sit on the power? Can he sit on the power? Really just trying to, without saying too much, trying to just, really watch as much as I can, to be honest.
You've had a few D-line coaches, and obviously you've played with older DNs over the years. Who really do you feel like you've learned the most from on that part of breaking down film, the details?
Really everybody. I try to learn as much as I can from, even the young guys, that are in the room now. But, as of recently, I was looking back at 2024. I learned a lot from Nate Matlack. And even some of the older guys we had last year, Blaine, he was, he was an older guy, you know what I mean? So he's seen a lot as well. So just learning different moves and different steps and, how can we get to this in different ways or that in different ways, just trying to just be a sponge in as many ways as I can.
You mentioned the different moves. What's the process of having those in your bag and being able to go out and kind of perfect those?
It's really just who we playing against, Once we start getting the game planning, we'll know, like I was saying earlier, is this guy a high hand punch guy? Is he a low hand punch guy? Is he patient in his sets? Can he anchor? How is he versus the speed moves? How much does he weigh? How tall is he? You know what I mean? So really just kind of, all of those factors and, just trying to hone in on, the small details.
Do you have a preference of, like you mentioned, all those aspects of an offensive tackles game? Do you have a preference of, the style of going up against one?
Not really, just because everybody's different, you know what I mean? And, they're good at their job too, you know what I mean? Switching stuff up, making stuff look like this and, you know what I mean? Maybe jumping out there, doing a quick jump set just to throw me off and stuff like that. So I try not to get too, locked in on one thing or one movement, you know what I mean? Just trying to read and react as much as possible. Me and Coach Dallas were talking about that earlier. Just reacting and just, not saying I'm going to do this, but reacting off of his movement. You know what I mean?
Jimmy, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.